Welcome to the MCTV Weekly News Update Holiday Special. I'm Caitlin Getler.
And I'm James Lyles. We've got a whole lot in store for you today, so let's jump right into today's top story. The pregnancy of Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, is less than 12 weeks along, but the unborn child is giving birth to jokes. CNN's Jean Moose reports on the fuss over a fetus, or maybe even two.
Talk about an ultrasound. It's the sound of the world press clicking at the father of the royal fetus.
Big baby news.
She's got a crumpet in the noggle pot. A doodle in the noodle.
But what happens if they have twins?
First one out gets the throne, no joke.
Those babies have been at elbow, and I'm out first because I want to need air. I'm out first.
This is definitely a first. The first royal to have competing parody Twitter accounts while still in the womb. This royal fetus says, I live inside a princess, while this royal fetus says, it's hardly Buckingham Palace in here.
You could tell the baby's a member of the royal family because Kate said she can already feel it waving.
The Duchess is probably not laughing at this point because of a medical condition that's a mouthful.
It's called hyperemesis gravidarum.
With the case of hyperemesis gravidarum.
Hyperemesis gravidarum.
Now, when you're covering this story, there is nothing wrong with a pregnant pause.
Kate has hyperemesis gravidarum, which sounds like a Harry Potter thing, but
hyperemesis gravidarum, which means you throw up a lot.
Yes.
Right.
It's kind of like morning sickness on steroids.
This is morning sickness like a tornado is a little wind.
It's more like morning, noon, and night sickness.
And you can expect morning, noon, and night coverage.
We'll be here for months.
Now, I can't be the only person who doesn't give a crap that Kate Middleton is having a royal baby.
Oh, don't be so stern, Howard. It's a baby. At a hockey game in Calgary, Canada, the crowd celebrated by throwing more than 21,000 teddy bears onto the ice. Okay, it had nothing to do with the announcement of the royal pregnancy. The stuffed teddies go to needy kids. But hey, it happened just the day before the baby news went public, foretelling the blessed event.
Is that her holding her abdomen?
Anyway, the Duchess could probably use a teddy the way she's been feeling while the whole world's watching. At least the panda didn't have to bear morning, noon, and night sickness. Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
Snooki's pregnancy was big news too, and now the Queen of the Jersey Shore has some advice for Duchess Catherine. Elizabeth Corridon has more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Jersey Shore star and new mom Nicole Snooki Polizzi has some words of wisdom for the Duchess of Cambridge. Snooki tells the New York Daily News Catherine should enjoy her pregnancy and be excited. She says it's hard, but says she shouldn't stress out. The 25-year-old reality star welcomed her first child in August. Snooki says Catherine should deal with the paparazzi by enjoying her time at home or in the castle with the baby. Buckingham Palace revealed Monday that Prince William and his wife are expecting. Alec Baldwin won't be done with television after his NBC series 30 Rock wraps up its final season. A spokesperson for the actor confirms he signed a new 2-year contract with Universal Television. Under the deal, Baldwin will develop and produce new shows for the studio and possibly star in them. An upcoming film starring Ashton Kutcher as Steve Jobs will close next year's Sundance Film Festival. Sundance just released this photo of Kutcher portraying the Apple founder early in his career. The director of programming for the festival says the film, called Jobs, is inspirational and entertaining. He says Kutcher really owns the role. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Elizabeth Corridon.
Well, I don't know, James. It seems to me that I don't think the Duchess Catherine really needs advice from Snooki, of all people.
Well, after watching Jersey Shore this season and stuff, she did have the baby since then, baby Lorenzo, cute little baby. And she seems a lot more adult than people think of her. Like in the past, she was a party girl, blah, blah, blah. But now I think she actually could give some pretty good advice. Wouldn't say it's the best advice, especially for a Duchess, but I don't think she's giving such bad advice anymore.
Well, good. That's good to hear.
Now it's time to talk about my favorite girl and her suspected new beau. After weeks of rumors about a new romance blossoming between country singer Taylor Swift and One Direction boy band member Harry Styles, it looks that the rumors may be true. The two were seen together Sunday at the Central Park Zoo in New York City. They may not have shown any PDA, but onlookers said it seemed like Harry could not keep his eyes off of Taylor. Rumors first spread about the two in mid-November when Mario Lopez gossiped about the chemistry they had backstage on The X Factor. Lopez said that Styles visited Swift after her special guest performance on the singing competition and said that the pair had, quote, walked off hand in hand. Both Taylor and Harry are at the peak of their careers, and everyone is fascinated with them. We haven't had an A-list pop couple since Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Could they be the new Justin and Britney of 2012?
Well, speaking of Harry's, Marist College's Literary Arts Society recently held a Harry Potter night for students on campus. With more of the details, here is Jennifer Keene.
Hogwarts came to Marist College tonight as Harry Potter enthusiasts all met in the cabaret this evening for a night of magical activities.
The Literary Arts Society held its annual Harry Potter night on Wednesday, November 14th. Lovers of the books and movies alike gathered to participate in the numerous stations that the club had to offer. When the students arrived at the cabaret, they were sorted into different houses, much like the book, and there was a table covered with wizard-themed treats for the students to enjoy. Some of the activities available included fortune-telling, wand-making, a potion station, and a photo booth.
It's Harry Potter. Everyone loves Harry Potter, and it's really, I think, the food and the games and the crafts and everything. It's a great experience.
I mean, Harry Potter was like a once-in-a-generation thing. Like, it was such a definitive cultural, force. Like, it was our Star Wars, and people just loved it and flocked to it and owned it, and they still own it. You know, it's just something we grew up with.
We have wand making, which is over here. We have some great picture taking with props and hats and everything. We have potion making, like oobleck and really great stuff. We also have divinations where you get your fortune told, and some food, which is actually really the best part.
The event started at 10 p.m. and attracted over 50 students. Everyone had a great time going from station to station, and the Literary Arts Society saw a great turnout.
I'm Jennifer Keene reporting for MCTV News.
In other entertainment news, once again, crowds of around 1 million people will gather to see the nearly 12,000-pound ball drop in New York City, releasing hundreds of pounds of confetti. However, if you're looking to spend the New Year's indoors watching the celebration on television, this is what you are in for on ABC. Ryan Seacrest will once again be in New York City hosting Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest 2013. Headlining the show will be Taylor Swift, along with performances by Carly Rae Jepsen, Neon Trees, and other artists who are still to be announced. ABC will also be switching to Fergie, who is hosting the West Coast celebration. This event will include performances by Brandy, Flo Rida, Carmen, One Republic, Pitbull, and many more acts yet to be revealed. The show will start with a 2-hour tribute to Dick Clark, who passed away in April of this year. The next 2 hours will be hosted by Fergie and Jenny McCarthy. And at 8 p.m., New York City will begin airing Dick Clark's special. The show will then continue on until 2 a.m. as host Ryan Seacrest brings in the new year for 2013. Just think that I grew up watching Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Dick Clark hosting. I know Ryan was there for the last couple, but it's going to be sad missing Dick Clark this year.
Yeah, I think it'll still be a good show. Are you going to go to New York City?
I wish, but I'm going to be in Vegas and LA this year, so I'm going to miss my girl performing, but you know.
Yeah, well, you
what
can't.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Well, not to put a damper on that holiday spirit, but there has been some devastating news hitting the New York area this week. New York City police are looking for the man who they say pushed another man onto subway tracks Monday afternoon. Take a look at these surveillance pictures. Police say this man argued with the victim, 58-year-old Kaishuk Han, and pushed him onto the tracks. As Han struggled to climb back onto the platform, he was penned by an oncoming train, killing him. That's when the suspect took off, police say. They also say witnesses report seeing the man talking to himself and also say he may be mentally ill. A $12,000 reward is being offered to anyone who leads police to this man.
On a lighter note, a bully goat terrorized some students Tuesday at a Houston middle school until the law caught up with him. Here he is resisting arrest as officers tried to load him in a truck. Authorities say the goat was chasing kids as they walked to class, even trying to headbutt and bite some of them. Officers eventually caught him and waited for animal control to arrive. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but we have no word on where the goat came from. I also wonder how the goat's condition is after headbutting these children walking to class.
Yeah, and he was resisting arrest? What's up with that?
Thank God we don't live on a farm or have goats roaming campus, because I would not like to be chased to class with a goat.
Poughkeepsie is rough enough as it is. We don't need any crazy goats running around. Well, surprisingly, this isn't the only animal story breaking headlines tonight. 3 kittens rescued from a man's freezer may be up for adoption by Christmas time. The animals are recovering in Florida while the man accused is under arrest. Charles Billy reports.
You are looking at 3 adorable kittens that were almost killed by a twisted mind. Police say Rodney Blanchard tried to get rid of 4 kittens by putting them in the freezer here in his St. Petersburg trailer. Neighbor Eva Mulder made the gruesome discovery when Blanchard asked her to get him a beer from the freezer.
I seen Ziploc bags. It looked like, you know, it could be steaks or something in there, but I heard kittens. And then I looked at Rodney and I said, I didn't say anything, and he's laughing and he goes, hypothermia only takes a few minutes. And I put 2 and 2 together, I knew it was the kittens.
Mulder immediately went home and called 911.
Well, the actual police officer, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, was extremely good. Instead of waiting for my driver to arrive, he immediately took them over to the emergency vet.
1 kitten died of hyperthermia, but the other 3 survived and are doing well.
Jumping back into the holiday season, a Californian family is particularly thankful this year after their son awoke from a month-long coma just in time to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with the family. 21-year-old Benjamin Pessa woke up after being shot in the head last month after a physical dispute. When taken to San Francisco General Hospital, Pessa's parents were told he only had a 25% chance of recovering. However, Pessa did pull through, not once, but twice. Just a few days before Thanksgiving, doctors took out his breathing tube. His first words were, "Hi, Mom." On Thanksgiving Day, Pessa took his first steps since the attack. And I think that's a pretty great story to hear. I know it's not Thanksgiving time, but it is Christmas time, and during this time of year, I know everybody likes to hear of miracles and giving thanks. That family is definitely giving thanks for that story.
Yeah, I can't imagine the joy they must be feeling after, all that time.
I know, a month is a pretty long time to be without your son.
And to be
worried. At least he's home in time for the holidays.
Exactly. Speaking of Turkey, and no, not the kind you're thinking, battering waves and strong winds have sunk 1 cargo ship and are threatening another in the Black Sea near Istanbul. Media reports say 12 crew members were aboard the coal ship, the Volgo Balt 199, when it got caught in a heavy storm. The reports say at least 1 crew member died, 2 others were rescued, and the rest are missing. The other ship, reportedly with 14 crew members, is drifting in heavy surf with thick black smoke pouring from its stacks. A rescue effort is underway.
That's pretty crazy of a story, too. I mean, I was thinking of the other turkey when you first started that story, but
yeah, but it was much more serious.
It's a very serious issue, and I hope everything went well with that.
Yeah, and I hope they can rescue everyone before the holidays.
Yeah. Well, to make sure you don't get caught in a mess like that, here's Emily Crescitelli with your weather.
Thanks, James. Well, everyone here on the East Coast has been enjoying warmer temperatures this past week. It looks like Alaskan residents were busy making Mother Nature's naughty list. Earlier this week, a low temperature of -56 degrees was reported in the town of Tok, Alaska, the coldest temperatures the United States has reported this season. This deep freeze is the result of a massive high-pressure system hovering over the area, dumping bone-chilling air from the Arctic over the state. Add on the minimal hours of sunlight some higher altitudes receive, and you wind up with temperatures that have even Santa freezing. Meteorologists warn that the pleasant weather the continental U.S. has been enjoying may be ending soon, suggesting a slow migration of colder air into the area over the next few weeks. In other weather-related news, the 2012 hurricane season has officially ended, leaving communities and families devastated. The most serious hurricanes this year were Isaac and Sandy, terrorizing the Gulf of Mexico and the tri-state area. In total, there were 19 named storms, 10 hurricanes, and 1 major hurricane. We hope for the continued recovery of these locations greatly affected by the hurricanes this year. It's now time to check in with your local forecast. For tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 28 degrees and a southerly wind about 3 miles an hour. For your Friday, expect cloudy skies with a high of 43 degrees and a minimal chance of precipitation. We're expecting rain showers both Saturday and Sunday with the highs in the upper 40s. The chance of rain increasing to 50% by the end of the weekend, so be sure to get your holiday shopping done early. The rest of your 7-day forecast calls for improving weather conditions, with Monday showers ending by Tuesday, leaving crystal clear skies on Wednesday with a high of 43. That's all I have here in the highs and lows report. With your weekly weather, I'm Emily Crescitelli.
Thanks, Emily. Now, Caitlin, aren't you from Alaska, so would you like to give us a little more insight on Emily's weather there?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I think Emily's report is going to make it a little tougher to go home.
I thought it was bad here. I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying something about that gas station wasn't actually, or that was a college that wasn't actually where Toka's from. Or
But, I mean, the temperatures are close. I have a lot of friends that go to school there, and they said it's been really cold. So I feel very fortunate to go to school here.
Good luck. Sticking with local reports, here on campus, the Marist College Gaming Society hosted their semesterly gaming day. With games to fix anyone's fancy, the event brought together gamers and non-gamers alike. We go to Peter Malavenda with the story.
Gaming gurus all around campus are coming into the Student Center to put their skills to the test. On November 17th, the Marist Gaming Society held Gaming Day. This event happens once every semester in the Student Center. Enthusiasts and beginners tested their skills on a variety of systems. Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox consoles were all featured at the event, along with interactive games such as Guitar Hero and a basketball simulator. Pizza and soda were served for $1, and gamers could bring in their own laptops. Those not in the club were also welcome to join in the action.
We have everything. We have multiple PS3s, Wii's, Xbox 360s, GameCubes, N64s, a huge PC section, which is really cool. People just bring their desktop computers or their laptops. And we get a lot of old school games that come up too, which is cool.
I'm here to play games. I mean, the fact that everyone just brought every system they could, computer, Xbox, PlayStation, is going to be the best.
Everyone is so loyal. They bring their equipment for us to borrow for, a 12-hour gaming event, and everyone just has fun with each other. We bring in other students who aren't the hardcore gamers at school, but gaming's something everyone loves. So it's just an awesome event.
It's so popular because it really doesn't matter, like, in here, what game you play or how you play it. You're going to find somebody who will play the same game with you. We even have board games in the back. It doesn't have to be like a video game. And I think that's what really brings us together as, like, game society.
The event lasted from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. Within the first hour, over 40 people had already set up their own stations and started playing. The opportunity to meet new people who share the same interests made Gaming Day a great success. I'm Peter Malavenda reporting for MCTV News.
Watch out, Marist. Flu season is already here, and according to the experts at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, this year could be a bad year. The prominent strain so far is the H3N2, a strain the CDC says is usually associated with a severe flu season. The CDC's director says that this year's flu shot is an excellent match with the influenza that's been going around. By the way, if you live in Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, or Texas, beware. Flu activity is highest in those 5 states.
Now, Caitlin, do you have the flu?
I don't. Do you?
No, I haven't had the flu this year either. Luckily, I haven't gotten my shot. I know we were talking before. You haven't gotten yours either.
I haven't. No, I've been very lucky.
We have a couple days left here, so I hope we don't get anything before we go home.
Yeah.
That would really ruin
Oh, I know, for Christmas and everything.
I know. Well, in more health news, a new study looks at the possible connection between the increases in food allergies and chemicals found in pesticides in tap water. Scientists found that dichlorophene, which are pesticides found in both items that are associated with food allergies. They say their research showed the chemicals can weaken food tolerance in some people, leading to a possible food allergy. Purifying water may strip it out of bacteria that could be beneficial to our immune system. So stay safe, be sure to pick up a filter, and if you don't already have one.
Marist students recently got the chance to help kids who are struggling from health problems help themselves. The St. Jude's Committee on campus held a letter writing event called Up Till Dawn to benefit cancer research for the hospital. Our own Peter Malavenda has the story.
Students are coming in and raising money and awareness to help children at St. Jude's Research Hospital. The on-campus St. Jude's Research Committee hosted a 3-day event from November 11th to the 13th called Up Till Dawn. Students came in and filled out forms asking friends and family to donate to the hospital. They were able to mail as many letters as they could over the 3 days. Students volunteered to cut off their hair for the cause, and music performances were provided by the students. Food and desserts were available for all who attended.
That's why I got involved, just because it is such a great cause and it is important to grow awareness about it.
Well, I think that this disease is something that really affects a lot of people. I mean, I know that I personally have a lot of family members who've been affected by it, and there are probably a lot of people here as well. And I think that even if you're just coming and you're giving your time, or if you're giving money, that it's really good to raise awareness for it.
It costs just over $1 million a day to operate St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and all of that money comes purely from donations and volunteer efforts, and that's a lot of letters to write. So it's efforts like these that keep the doors of St. Jude open and keep treating kids.
Over the course of the event, over 100 people came in and wrote letters. Depending on how many letters they wrote, students were eligible to enter raffles for various prizes and gift cards. A few thousand were completed after the 3 days, extending the opportunity to help beyond the local community. The event was a fun way to get together and raise awareness for those less fortunate. I'm Peter Malavenda, reporting for MCTV News.
Moving to other international news, political and peace progress took a step back on Tuesday night when protesters attacked the presidential palace and then police, according to CNN. The fight continued as officers fought back against protesters with tear gas. Additional fighting occurred at the headquarters of the Freedom and Justice Party, which is south of Cairo. 19 protesters were hurt in the proceedings, and one gun reportedly went off. Many ambulances had been called to the aftermath of the scene. The protests derive from unrest about a constitutional draft that will go on vote in December. The draft, the protesters argue, is unjustly in favor of President Mohamed Morsi. The silent protest by the media has recently occurred because of the freedom of speech the media feels the new draft will take away.
In other international news, there are new signs of trouble in Syria. Intelligence suggests Syrian forces may be preparing to use chemical weapons on its own people. Mary Ellen Hopkins has the story.
A U.S. official says, according to intelligence obtained over the weekend, Syrian forces began mixing two chemicals needed to make deadly sarin gas. President Obama issued a stern warning to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
I want to make it absolutely clear to Assad and those under his command, the world is watching. The use of chemical weapons is and would be totally unacceptable.
U.S. officials are concerned that with fighting moving closer to Damascus, the Assad regime may be getting desperate and could use chemical weapons to try to crush the rebellion. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says if Assad goes down that road, there will be consequences.
This is a red line for the United States. I'm not going to telegraph in any specifics what we would do in the event of credible evidence that the Assad regime has resorted to using chemical weapons against their own people. But suffice it to say, we are certainly planning to take action if that eventuality were to occur.
U.S. officials say Assad could use artillery shells filled with sarin to push back opposition forces. Sarin is 500 times more deadly than cyanide. One drop can kill a person in a matter of minutes. I'm Mary Ellen Hopkins reporting.
Our last story of the night comes from Japan. An unknown number of cars were trapped early Sunday after a tunnel collapsed some 50 miles west of Tokyo, police said. The cause of the collapse was not immediately clear, nor was the number of people potentially affected. The Sasego Tunnel, located on the Chu Expressway, according to Otsuki police. The cave-in occurred on the Tokyo-bound lanes. The road was temporarily closed and authorities were working to rescue victims, police said. I'm sorry. Those names were really hard for me.
I know, but it's a very sad story.
But the other international news, I want to talk about the brighter stories because these are just making me sad.
Yes, they are. They're very sad.
Like Kate's baby, Taylor Swift breaking up with this guy soon because they just started going out, so that means there's 3 days.
I think they might
breaking up, and oh my god, so that makes me happier. But speaking about international love, Pitbull is performing on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, which I think is pretty cool. I like Pitbull. I'm going to be out there. Hopefully, I'll see him.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get to see him.
What are
I
you
hope
doing
you
for
enjoy.
the New Year?
I'm actually going to be in Juneau,
Alaska.
yeah, and my friends and I, we're all 21, so this is the first year
Enough
we're all
said.
back together, and it should be a good time. Won't be as fun as LA, I'm sure, but...
Well, I hope you guys have a great time.
Oh, thanks, you too.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you for joining us for our holiday special. My name is James Lyles.
And I'm Caitlin Gettler.
Happy holidays.